reducing flood risk in Hawke's Bay. From the mountains to the sea, we live in one of the most beautiful and bountiful regions of Aotearoa, New Zealand. But the same things that make Hawke's Bay a great place to work, live and play, our hill country, rivers, fertile plains and coastline, make it prone to flood risk. Much of our region is built on a floodplain, some below sea level, or on the coast, and inland we are surrounded by highly erodible hill country. Because of this, knowing how best to live alongside our rivers and our coastline is really important, especially during extreme weather. Flooding is one of the biggest climate challenges we face here in Hawke's Bay. When we talk about flood risk, we mean rivers flooding, heavy rain overwhelming stormwater systems, and storm surges on the coast. And as we experienced in Cyclone Gabriel, river, surface and coastal flooding can happen at the same time, and the impacts can be devastating on people, property and places. At the Regional Council, we play a key role in helping communities feel safer and be more resilient to flooding. Across Hawke's Bay, we manage 27 flood control and drainage schemes, along with river maintenance work like opening river mouths. We're also working on a coastal hazards strategy and a range of flood resilience projects in different places and at different stages. Your local council also plays a key role, looking after stormwater networks. Since Cyclone Gabriel, the Regional Council has prioritised recovery work and reducing risk to life. We've achieved a lot, but we know there's a lot more we could do, and it costs a lot of money that ultimately has to be paid for by ratepayers. Deciding what to do, where to do it, when to do it, and who should pay are big, difficult, intergenerational decisions that need to be made with your input. Between now and our next long-term plan in June 2027, we need to agree with our community the investments to make to further reduce flood risk in Hawke's Bay and how to pay for them. Since the cyclone, we've been approaching our flood resilience work in 3 stages. Stage 1 is what we've done to replace what we've lost and learnt from Cyclone Gabriel. The second stage is what we're doing to make sure our current schemes are fit for purpose. And the third stage, the really gnarly one, deciding what additional flood protection we want and can afford. The work in each of these stages has been rolling out like a ripple effect, combining to help build resilience, and started with the rapid rebuild of our flood schemes after the cyclone. Rapid rebuild. 32 kilometres of our 248-kilometre stopbank network were damaged by Cyclone Gabriel and repaired within 6 months. 19 pump stations were returned to full operation with backup power, and 105 kilometres of damaged drain networks were restored. Rainfall and river level monitoring. Cyclone Gabriel took out some of our river level monitoring stations. But today, 43 upgraded stations are up and running, all with new backup power systems. New flood scheme defences. A nearly $200 million multi-year investment means communities severely affected by Cyclone Gabriel can stay where they are while new flood defences are built. These urgent projects are in Havelock North, Omahu, Pakowhai, Porongahau, Waiōhiki, Whirinaki and Wairoa. We're also investing another $30 million to restore existing flood schemes. For example, the height and width of the stopbank on the left bank of the Waipawa River is being upgraded. This work is made possible by a cost-share agreement with the Crown. Post-cyclone improvements, independent reviews. We're also taking action on the recommendations from our 4 independent reviews, 3 related to Cyclone Gabriel and 1 on the June 2024 Wairoa flood event. We've made strong progress with 46 of 52 review recommendations underway. For example, we've developed an extreme weather hub providing people with regularly updated webcam images of local river mouths, rainfall and river data maps giving communities the tools to make fast decisions in emergency situations. We're also working with communities to refine trigger level alerts if rivers rise to enhance local capacity to act. We're also making sure our smaller flood schemes are fit for purpose. We are critically assessing the 25 small flood, drainage and river or stream schemes located across Hawke's Bay. Do they work as intended? Will they work in the future? And if changes are needed, what will they cost ratepayers? Likewise, we're also reviewing our region's 2 biggest flood management schemes. Big challenges call for bold ideas. Together with our communities, we need to reconsider our long-term approach to managing our 2 major flood schemes in the Hiratonga Plains and Upper Tukituki. This might include creating flood spillways and making more room for rivers, but there'll be more ideas out there in the community. While there's a huge amount of flood infrastructure being built, this is just one piece of the puzzle in giving us the resilience we need in Hawke's Bay. We are taking a mountains-to-sea approach to slow the flow, such as working with farmers to hold water on the land for longer and keep soil on our hills. We share our flood hazard mapping and modelling to help others make decisions and take action, and we use planning rules to keep development away from hazard-prone land. Everyone has a role to play. Property owners can check whether their property is in a high-risk flooding area. Whānau and communities should have a plan and be prepared to manage on their own for a minimum of 3 days in a large-scale event. Developers and councils have a role in avoiding and accommodating areas of high risk. Infrastructure owners such as KiwiRail and Waka Kotahi need to design and build resilient bridges, road and rail networks in concert with our infrastructure. Banks and insurance companies will decide the locations they will lend and cover, taking into account areas of high flood risk. What's to come in Stage 3 is the big gnarly questions. Between now and the next long-term plan in June 2027, we need to agree what investments we will make to further reduce flood risk in Hawke's Bay. We'll be asking for your input soon to help shape those long-term investments. Your voice matters. Get involved. You need to know what the options could be and how much they'd cost. And we need to know where you want your ratepayer dollars spent. In the meantime, you can find out more about the size and scale of these challenges. See hbrc.govt.nz, search #EngagementHub.